Hi, I'm Nancy Bonham, and I'm one of the moderators of the Marian Scholars Program, and part of that program is the AP Capstone program. So Molly actually completed the program as a junior, and as a senior, she decided to do a service project for her AP Research assignment for this year. So this year for AP Research, you decided to do a service project. I want you to tell me a little bit about your project and why you decided to do that.
So I'm a runner. I run on the Immaculata cross-country team. I also run on the track team. This is my second year as captain for both teams. Well, all three teams, actually. And I love running, but I'm also type 1 diabetic, and I've had to learn to manage my blood sugars and what comes with that. And diabetes has taken a large part of my life. And I've learned to manage and deal with that. And my project last year in, AP Research, I was looking into diabetes device companies, and it kind of segued my research into this year when I started looking at insulin, especially for insulin rationing, because I found a really interesting study by, I believe it was Yale in 2019, that about 25% of insulin users have had to ration their insulin at one point or another, which is a life-saving hormone that our bodies, or at least type 1 diabetics, don't naturally produce on their own.
Right. So what are some things that people may not know about the idea of insulin rationing and what's going on in terms of people getting what they need, what the government's trying to do, still needs to do? What are some things people might not know about?
Well, insulin is a hormone. It's produced by the beta cells in your pancreas, and it takes the glucose, like the carbs, and the carbs and the food you eat, and then it converts that into energy. And it kind of acts like a key to a door. The insulin takes the carbs, goes to your cells, opens the door, lets it convert it into energy. And so type 1 diabetics don't produce that hormone.
But people are having trouble getting the insulin that they need in order to basically live a normal life. And why is that?
Well, yeah, the initial patent was sold for $1 about 100 years ago. We celebrated 100 years of insulin like 1 or 2 years ago. And since then, the patent was sold for $1 with the intention that it should be accessible to all. And now the out-of-pocket expense is around $300, $200. And the actual cost to manufacture it hasn't changed, actually. It's the out-of-pocket expense because you have so many outlying factors within the pharmaceutical chain that have their own stakes within. They have very complicated incentives to boost that price so that they can reap their own lucrative benefit.
And so insulin rationing is when people use less of it because it's so expensive and they're trying to spread it out.
Yes, that's correct, because they can't afford it. And if vials are going from, sometimes 200 to 300 on the most extreme cases, and a vial of insulin is, it can last maybe 2-3 weeks if you're lucky. I mean, you're changing your insulin pump site. If you're on an insulin pump, you're changing that every 3 days on average. And so you're stretching out the amount of time that you're wearing your insulin pump, you're not eating. People have to make the choice between, am I going to pay my rent? Am I going to feed my kids? Or do I buy this vial of insulin?
What we decided to do with your project is have a 5K race to help raise funds. And you did a lot of research into which corporations should receive the money that we raise through the race. So can you talk a little bit about how you chose that organization to receive the money?
I felt really strongly that I wanted the profits to go to some kind of nonprofit that would address the issue of insulin rationing. So I looked at a couple nonprofits that I had already heard of and that were well known: American Diabetes Association, JDRF, Beyond Type 1, and a new nonprofit emerged largely through looking into JDRF, because they had sponsored something called Civica RX, and they're working to produce biosimilar insulins at a cheaper cost by 2024 is the goal, to introduce effective, low-priced insulins that can compete with current insulin producers on the market today.
So the funds from the 5K race will go to this organization to help provide people with less expensive insulin.
Yes.
Okay, great. So if people want to help, what can they do? Can you tell us about the race? If they can't run in the race, what can they do? How can people help?
Well, the race is, I believe, scheduled for June 24th. A certain percent of the profits will go to Civica. And people can also, if they don't want to race, they're more than welcome to donate on the Run sign-up page, which is all really exciting. And any kind of support is really super duper helpful.
So people could also come and be a volunteer for the event, make any form of donation, just come and cheer on the runners. Okay, great.
Yeah,
can't
all those
wait.
Things.
Well, thanks, Molly, for talking with me today. We are super excited for your race. We're really proud of all your hard work on this amazing topic, and it's such an important need for our world. And we love that you're so in tune with helping others. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's something I really care about, and I'm really excited to see it all come to fruition.
So we'd love to see you here at IHS on June 24th for the Spartan Spirit 5K race, especially this year in support of Molly's run, raising funds for effective and affordable insulin. See you there.